Hi, my name's Dr. Christopher Stokes. I'm currently Library Liaison Officer for Penry Humanities, and this is a short video tutorial about getting the most out of library resources when you do your research. Hopefully it should be of interest, of use to students on all our programmes, history, English, combined honours and FCH, but because my own disciplinary background is English and I lecture on the English programme, I'll be using English examples chiefly. Now, your first port of call should be the ELE or Exeter Learning Environment. You should already be familiar with this, I hope, but it really is the route one for getting at the resources. Here's a sample page. This one is Shakespeare and the History of Ideas, the individual module page here for a Year 1, Term 1 English module. Now, different conveners will set this up in different ways. Obviously, as you can see, there's lots and lots of different types of information, but embedded in these ELE pages, alongside things about assessment and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, is research reading. As I say, different conveners do it different ways. Sometimes you'll actually see in these kind of boxes links or indeed PDFs to download for suggested reading. The convener here has gone straight to the digital reading list, and indeed all our modules should have digital reading lists attached to them. Sometimes the convener, as here, will provide links somewhere in the main body of the ELE page. You should also be able to access it directly by going up to the right here and finding it. Here we go, under University Resources. Click through here, and here is the Shakespeare and History of Ideas digital reading list with, as you see, 225 items of all different kinds, and that's what we're trying to do here. You'll find books, you'll have books online, you'll have journal articles, which are slightly shorter essays that academics do and submit to journals, which usually have a kind of topic sort of definition, something like Renaissance Quarterly about Renaissance literature. We may also include scans here. You might find chapters in books we call edited collections, where one or two academics edit the whole thing and different academics put forward different chapters or essays, which are all bundled together again under some kind of broad topic. But this is great because as you go through, it will usually be set out week by week, perhaps with a general section as here at the top, and you can simply click through. So for example, let's find Shakespeare and the Classics, an ebook. We click online resource, we find this is a book by Cambridge University Press, and it will take us through. Sometimes you'll be prompted to enter your some form of online password username. That's always the same as your email username and password. Here we seem to already have access because I've clicked through and there's a cookie stored on the web browser. But as you can see, we can now read the book online, and we might be interested in, I don't know, The Taming of the Shrew and Ovid, and through in this publishers section we just click and there we go, there's the PDF of the chapter. Different publishers will do things in different ways. This is Cambridge University Press, very nice and clean way of doing it. Other publishers have different formats. You just have to sort of experiment, work your way through. Back to that reading list here. You can also access, as I said, journal articles. A little slow, here it comes. I hope, there we go. Let's find an article, Power and Rights of the Crown in Hamlet and King Lear, Andrew Hadfield, who used to be my head of department when I was a PhD student at Sussex. Anyway, click online. This is a journal article database called JSTOR. That's one of the biggest ones, and that collects the articles from lots and lots of different online journals. Again, a little bit slow here, and we have the option here of downloading the PDF. We'll also usually have a preview of the first page, which often includes an abstract here, which enables you to think, well, is this article going to be useful to me? So, ELE and digital reading lists are very, very much your first port of call. Your second port of call is library search, and you can get to this through this website address, encore.exeter.ac.uk. Now you'll notice here there's actually two options. I won't go too much into the difference between them, but Articles plus More, as it suggests, includes not only the base library catalogue, but A, journal articles, these shorter form essays that I've just been talking about, and which the Andrew Hadfield one we just had a look at was an example of that. So those are all included, plus more. The search is a little bit more powerful on this tab here because, for example, it actually goes through a full text search of ebooks. So if the reference is relatively slight or in passing, you'll be able to pick that up. Whereas a library catalogue in the traditional sense relies on things like titles and keywords that have been added by librarians. So broadly, I would suggest using this default tab of articles and more. Now let's come up with a random search such as Beowulf, type it in and click. Now, one of the downsides of this is we have a lot of different material here. And immediately, all of the material is included all at once. What you'll want to do is use these options along the side to narrow down your search to different types of material. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one or every single option. For example, you can search by date and do sort of date things, publication years, to narrow it down towards more recent research, which certainly is a good idea. You can do lots of things, you can explore yourself, but I'm going to concentrate on a couple of different things: Penryn print stock, ebooks, journal articles, and Streatham print stock. So, first of all, the physical library on the Cornwall campus. If you want to see what's there, you have to go down to Penryn Campus Library, unsurprisingly enough. Now, you might be looking here and going, wow, Forum Library up at Streatham, 300 items, Penryn Campus Library, only 40. Don't let that worry you. Penryn Campus Library has been here for a much shorter amount of time than Streatham or the Forum Library up in Exeter, the city. So, of course, they have more stuff, but a lot of it's older. Not so useful. One of the benefits of Penryn Campus Library is we've been building the stock up only for about 15 years, so it's all the best stuff and the most up-to-date stuff. Anyway, click Penryn Campus Library, and here you go. You have all the books. Now, these will be print books, not ebooks, physical books that you can get off the shelves. If you want to know what that book is, where its shelf mark is it available, very simple, click View Record Details on the catalogue. And here it is, it comes up. There's a nice bit about the cover, and you go through and you see we've got two different copies of this, one on loan, one on reference, which I believe means you can't take it out, and they're both available, of course. There's also a little summary here, which is useful if you want to sort of see what it is. This particular sort of Penryn campus catalogue, which is also available to students in Falmouth, has things like browsing the shelf, so you can see what stuff is next to it. Like you might go, oh, Oxford Companion to German Literature, click through to that. Anyway, so that's how you identify physical print stock, physical books in the Penryn Library. I'm now going to click delete to take us right back to everything. Now, the second thing you might be interested in are ebooks, and in fact this is another reason why our Penryn stock is slightly smaller than Forum. For a while now, Exeter University has a digital first policy. That means if an ebook is available, we will buy that instead of the physical print copy. Why? Well, if you've got a module like Shakespeare and the History of Ideas with lots and lots of students, and we say go off and write an essay on Beowulf, then if we've only got 2 copies of something, the first 2 students will get that book and then everyone else won't have it. Whereas, of course, an ebook, everyone can read it. And indeed, they can read it anywhere. They can read it in their study bedroom, in the library, on a train, in a coffee shop, in a study space. The ebooks are a lot more flexible. So to get to those, again, you have to go down here, and what you want to click on, unsurprisingly, is ebooks. And here we have, sorry, some various ebooks on Beowulf. So, for example, Direct Speech in Beowulf and Other Old English Narrative. To get it, we simply go click to ebooks, and this will take us through a bit like we did when going directly from the digital reading list to have a look at this particular book. So I think we have to go through JSTOR here to eventually get it. We may be prompted to log in again, but if you follow all these links through, you'll be able to sort of read this book. Here we go. So again, downloading the introduction as a PDF. Click here, accept the terms and conditions. Here it is. As I've said before, ebook publishers, they all have their own different frameworks, formats, but it's relatively straightforward. For you, the key thing is simply to click that link on the Encore catalogue to narrow down your search to ebooks. And there you go, you've got them all there. The third thing is journal articles, these shorter form essays. Now, to get just those, you click academic journals. That's simple, down there formats, not ebooks, but academic journals. Click that. Wait a while as the program whirs. And here you have these shorter essays, which again, many of which you can just simply click the PDF. Sometimes you've got to go through another gateway. Again, you might get asked to be prompted to enter your username and password. But many of them, this is about Cain and the Jutes and textual criticism of Beowulf from Studies in Philology. Click the PDF and there it is. Or rather, click there and there it is. And here on a Mac, I can just click download and there it appears. So we've done physical print stock. You get that by clicking Penryn Library. Ebooks, you get that by clicking ebooks. Journal articles, you get that by clicking academic journals. Now, there's one thing that you might also be thinking is, well, what about if there's something which we don't have in any of those forms, but it is available at the Forum Library? Do I have to get up and go by train to Exeter? The answer is, of course, not. As a University of Exeter student, you can simply request it and submit. There we go. Oh, I've accidentally submitted it. I don't want it, but there we go. It's coming for me very soon at the Penryn Campus Library. There we go. I would suggest logging in. As you can see, there's me. I'm logged in, just to make those kind of things easier. But also, when you're doing that journal article search, I won't show you how this appears on the screen, but sometimes you'll see a thing saying to view this content, log into the MLA bibliography or another sort of journal archive. So some of the titles of the journal articles will be sort of hidden from you unless you log in as yourself. I don't know why that is, but that's just a sort of functional glitch. So there we go. Penryn print stock, ebooks, journal articles, and the ability to order Streatham print stock. That book will be coming very, very soon. That's basically your main set of resources to get the full gamut of kind of academic work, whether in book form or chapters or journal articles in journals. All of it's there at your fingertips. Look at ELE first, then go through the Encore catalogue, and bear in mind you have these different types of resources open to you. The other thing I would counsel you to look at, the other thing that's very useful for academic research at this level, is online databases and online resources. These are a little bit different, and I'm going to do a separate video tutorial, the link for which should be next to this one on the library homepage, or rather the Penryn Humanities Library Info ELE page, and you can click on that if you want to get sort of the second part of that tutorial. Otherwise, best of luck with your research.